You need more cheers?
Yeah, 5 more cheers, please.
Thank you.
Testing. Thank you all for being brave and sitting in the splatter zone right up in front here. I really appreciate that. You don't need a total disregard for your safety. It's awesome.
Are you guys all Mortal Kombat fans?
Yeah.
Good.
Because you're not in the wrong room.
Because you're in the wrong room. This is Street Fighter. No, I just wanted. Oh, I see a Street Fighter shirt. Get him! Street Fighter shirt. Get him! I'm just gonna bully you guys. I'm just gonna bully you guys. Funny story, we had one time at one convention, we had somebody come up to us and say, oh yeah, I love Mortal Kombat, my favorite one is Guile. Anyways, I digress. I wanted to make a quick introduction of this fine panelist with me today.
But they didn't come, so you're stuck with us.
Yeah. We're still waiting. We're going to begin with the funny gentleman here on my right, Mr. Paul Niemeyer. And then at the far end, we have Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Noob Saibot, Smoke, Reptile, Johnny Cage, Daniel Pacina. Right next to Mr. Pacina, we have Mr. Shansung himself, Philip On. And this gentleman has asked me to make a proper introduction. He is the master of the slicing hat. He is the living legend, the rock and roller, Ayatollah. Too sweet to be sour. The man of the hour, the man with the power, Mr. Rockstar himself, Tony Marquez. So we're just gonna. So.
Hold on.
Okay. We started with.
Yeah, Danny wants you to do that again so that he can.
No, you want me to do it again. Okay. And we're going to open the floor to questions.
Hold on.
Oh, there you go.
First thing.
Yeah.
He's going to record it. When I say, who's your favorite character, everyone's going to yell out, come out. Okay? All right. So. Hey, who's your favorite character? Come out!
All right. It's always a party with us. I really hope you guys can come and party with us.
Yeah.
We're going to that coin-up party later on. But we're gonna begin with just questions because we want to do this for you guys because thanks to you guys, we are here today. They are here today. So yeah, who wants to go first?
Get over here.
How do you work with both Sub-Zero and Scorpion?
Okay.
At the same time?
So the question is, how did you work with Sub-Zero and Scorpion? I believe you mean like the move set, like the moves for each character.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So originally, Scorpion was going to be portrayed by Anthony Marquez.
Yeah!
And it's true. And the night before he was supposed to film, he dropped a 25-pound weight on his toe and broke it. And so because we were using John Tobias's dad's camera to create Mortal Kombat, his high camera, so it wasn't like a studio camera, like a big one. It was one of those really small ones. So we had to perform all the moves kind of slower. So it was more difficult for Tony to keep balance. So John was like, well, we're already behind time, and you know, you have to do it. So I stepped in and did the movements, created the movements for Scorpion, and that's when they announced that, hey, we're really behind time. We're gonna just palette swap basic moves, and actually it was a little more. If you look at the first game, though they have similar moves, most of the moves are just a little bit different. Because I was like, you know, they're the same style. Originally, they were brothers. So I was like, they have to have the same style because they learned from martial arts from the original story was they learned martial arts from their father. So I was like, it can't be exactly the same, but they should be really, really similar because they have the same system. So that was the most difficult thing to kind of, when you're creating stuff, is, you know, make it the same but make it different.
Okay.
So yeah. So, and then when that was done, John was like, you know, if we have more time, let's do more Lin Kuei. So I also created 2 more Lin Kuei characters. One of them turned out to be Reptile.
Next question.
Question for the artist. What kind of work did you do on the game?
Oh,
What did I do on the game?
Yeah.
I putzed around until they said, get out of here. No, actually, I came in about midstream. Real quick, you probably know Jean-Claude Van Damme was going to be Johnny Cage at first, so he kind of negotiated himself right out of the deal. They wanted too much money. So at that point, management kind of had it in their head, this game's going to be a flop without him. You know, they had said, you know, in their heads, it was all connected to him, you know, using him and his image, his name, et cetera, et cetera. You know, so at that point, they decided, let's just blow this thing the hell out of here. You know, so Greg Ferris was one of the on the creative team, and he was my boss when I was at actual employee of Bally Midway back in '82 to '84. So he was like, hey, you know, Paul's the fastest wrist in the West. Bring him in on it, you know. So I came in about, you know, in the middle of the whole thing, and what was described to me was the whole thing was kind of teetering on whether they were going to even do it or not. You know, like I said, they had that mentality. You know, it's going to be a success with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and now he's gone. It's probably going to just be a flop. So let's just get it out the door. So there were no staff artists that were even, you know, available, so they hired me, the freelancer, to come in and just bang it out. And it's funny because they really didn't ask very much, like, hey, can we see some sketches, or see the art, whatever. No, it was always, is it done yet? When will it be done? Is it done? How soon before it will be done? So anyway, what I actually did was the very, very first thing I did. I got there that very first day, they handed me John's sketch of the logo, the dragon logo, and I illustrated that first, and then everything came off of that. I remember making a couple of PMTs, that's paper mechanical transfer, back in the day, and that was the easiest way to make, you know, any kind of graphic, photographic, you know, graphics. And so I made a couple of those, provided them with that, and then they used those logos for whatever they were going to use it for, and I kept one for myself to put in my artwork. And the very first thing I did was the header, and then I designed all the dragons for the control panel and the glass art, and got approval on that. It was pretty bing bang. I mean, you know, they were in a big hurry to get it done. So I mean, it was like just I was faxing stuff to them. They wouldn't even bother to waste time to have a meeting, to drive up there to, you know, have a meeting. Just fax it to them. They put the okay on it, and that was the end of it. You know, it was pretty short and sweet. You know, and then the side art. And I did it. They told me, like, I had sketches with the you know, Johnny Cage and the flying kick, but then they weren't sure exactly what was going to happen. And for about 1 white hot minute, Goro was going to be on the side. 1 hot minute, okay. Yeah, and I remember I did the sketches of Goro, and got in my car and drove. The time it took me to get in the car and drive there, Goro got 86, you know, right in the garbage can anyway. So I went, hey, great sketch, huh? Yeah, keep it for yourself, we don't need it. Lovely drawing. So that's what I did.
All right. Question over here.
Yes, I was wondering, what was the name of the guy in Mortal Kombat? You know, the dude who said, Tuesday!
Dan Forden.
Dan.
Right? Dan, can you share like Dan Forden, like what he did for the game? Do you know?
Yeah, Dan Forden created the music, and we sat, and it was sound. So for the first game, we sat in his studio and did some sounds for the game, and then he created all the music.
Do you know how the idea came up for him to pop out of the corner and do that memorable shout?
Yeah, Toasty. So what happens is when they're testing the game, Ed would use Scorpion. Scorpion was the first character that he got to create like a move for. So he really liked Scorpion, which was the fourth character we filmed. So he would always use Scorpion. And when he finished did the fatality, he would get on fire. So it was like, oh, I'm gonna make you toast. And then Toasty, it became a taunt. So he used, and in the end, Dan would play with Ed, and Ed would do the fatality, and that's why he jumps out of the corner and says Toasty.
Nice. Question over here.
Did they use your voices for each of your characters when you the sound effects of the...
Some of the hits, yeah. Some of the hits and stuff like that are actually sound. Yeah.
And then the other one was, you guys were in case and we had a shot for working together, like interaction.
Your question is if they actually recorded like two characters at the same time?
Yeah.
Well, when we did a proof of concept, so there were going to be, in the end, there were two games. There was what we know as Mortal Kombat was a tournament game, and then they had Van Damme game, which is a beat 'em up game. So they were totally two different games. They were never really going to be, Van Damme was never going to be in Mortal Kombat. He was going to have his own game, beat 'em up game. So, so basically, when we did a proof of concept, was John took his drawings, and then I choreographed some moves with Carlos, who's Raiden, and Rich DeVizio, who's Kano, and myself, and we did fight moves, so that way they would know what a live fighting game would look like. So we took the package and we presented it to Ed Boon and Warner Brothers, Midway, sorry, but we presented that to Midway, and then that's when they said they weren't going to do our game, and they were going to try to make this game with Jean-Claude Van Damme because it would make more quarters. Yeah. So then we got shut down, but then John Tobias told me, yeah, Van Damme actually wanted money. And the company is so cheap.
How rude.
Yeah, the company is so cheap that they were like, no, we're not going to give you money to make the game. They wanted to give them like a percentage. But yeah, so.
I have a question for Tony. So Tony, you weren't supposed to be one of the ninjas. Did you think that after you drop away and you got injured and couldn't do the motion capture, did you think that, oh my God, this is it, I'm not gonna be in Mortal Kombat? Did you think like, oh yeah, I'll be back for like a next iteration?
No, at this point there was no Mortal Kombat. Okay, there's no global phenomenon thing with cats sitting here with t-shirts and the whole 9 yards. There's none of this. I just know, okay, so, we're all hanging out or whatever, and Danny's talking about, yeah, we're doing this game, we're doing this video game with John Tobias. Like, oh, cool, that's awesome. And at that point, you have stuff like, Pac-Man or ER Kung Fu or whatever, Karate Champ. And so when they're talking about, yeah, we're doing this video game, it's like, whatever, I don't, it's cool, I'm glad that they're working on it, but there's no even like a concept in my head what they were doing. And so, Dan, I broke my foot, what am I gonna, sorry, can't, I'll step in and do all of this stuff. That's cool, you're just happy that your buddies are working on some project. And then, this thing hits the arcade, and then all of a sudden, Mortal Monday, and it's like, Mortal Kombat! And it's like, are you freaking kidding me? The thing is, I love all of these guys, but when it's your guys, and they're plastered all over, you know, you go to the arcade, you see them on TV, you're listening to Senator Lieberman talking about Mortal Kombat on C-SPAN. It's like, how am I not part of this? So at that point, it was like, you know, I'm glad that you guys are doing this, you know, let's go get some pizza when you guys are done shooting. I don't care, you know, you're your boy. But yeah, at that point, it was like, I was really butt tight. But it is one of those things where, you know, I'm sure if I would have done Scorpion and Sub-Zero, it would have been great. I'm totally convinced of this. But there's a magic about this, and you know, let's say, you know, Scorpion is arguably the face of Mortal Kombat, and that was Danny. And if Danny didn't do the ninjas, who knows? Maybe this game wouldn't have been as successful. Maybe we wouldn't be sitting here right now. So it all just worked out. Whoever did whatever they did, it was that magic in a bottle. And so thank you, Danny. Thank you for doing that's why we're all here.
Phil, question for you. So,
before the question, I'm gonna say the same thing. Daniel, when MK was so big that, you know, MK2 was going to be the sequel, and they had more characters. Daniel, after introducing me to Tobias and Boom, he offered me a role as young Shang Tsung or the ninjas. And I said, you had already done the ninjas. and besides, I don't want to be covered up so much. So I said, you take the ninjas and I'll do Shang Tsung.
Too handsome to be a ninja.
I understand.
So tell us about like that pitch, like, you know, how did it all start, like with Shang Tsung? Did they go into detail about the character? Did you know about the character?
I'm sort of like Tony in that video game, Real People. So that was, I couldn't conceptualize it. Yes, then I saw Mortal Kombat everywhere and I said, oh, okay. But then I didn't know the storyline either. And so Daniel explained to me that Shang Tsung, who's the boss, is gonna become young and then enter the tournament. So I said, okay, I can do it. That's pretty much it. Awesome. Yeah.
He says that's pretty much it, but it's awesome. Question over here.
I had a question about Kano, how originally said they can work from Japan. When did they make the jump straight to like Australia? And
Interesting.
Yeah, Kano is an American and Japanese descent, and only in the movies did it make that jump, because when somebody else everybody has their visions, you know, and contributions to the game. So the casting director thought that it would be better if he came from Australia, which is cool, it's his idea, but I think that if he would have did the research on Mortal Kombat, he would have realized that, oh, you know, Kano is Japanese American, not Australian. Yeah, so I think that happens a lot where people who create other, you know, whether it's a movie or something else, have a different vision, and it would really help if they were fans of the game. That way they can, you know, it would, not that it's bad but sometimes it doesn't turn out as well.
I had a comment about that, because in the Ninja Turtles, the 1990 movie, right? I don't know the gentleman who played the outro. What's that song called? The Ninja Turtles 1. And it says there that Raphael is the leader of the group, which
and the ending credits and the rap
it's a sick song, but the rap song says there Raphael is the leader of the group. Which,
No, that's Donatello.
No, that's Leonardo.
That's Leonardo is the leader? I thought the guy who mixes the old and the new would be the.
well, really,
Anyway,
it's Master Splinter, and they're all equals, and then but I don't know, whatever. The cartoon is different in the comic book, so that
There
just
you
doesn't
go.
make me great.
It's a good
about
comment.
that.
Yeah. Speaking of Ninja Turtles, who in here knew? Don't lie. Who in here knew that both Daniel and Tony were in the Ninja Turtles movies?
I didn't know Tony.
I did. I saw on the Nostalgia Critics channel.
There you go. This man did his research.
yeah. Tony's the leader. He's Leonardo.
Yeah. So Tony did Leonardo in Turtles 3, right?
Correct.
And then you were foot soldier in the second one?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, can I take that?
Okay, so Ninja Turtles. Unlike all of you cats. Man, Ninja Turtles, this is really, 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 really cool. And especially that first movie, and you know, who is that? What's that cat? Ernie Reyes. Ernie Reyes did stunt work on that one. I thought, man, this movie is so freaking awesome. I love it, I love it, I love it. And then a Ninja Turtle 2 comes up, and Hosang is Raphael, and Danny and Rich are bad guy foot soldiers. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't wait to see this. This movie is going to be incredible because I know these guys and I know what they can bring to the table. And like all of you guys, we saw the movie. Oh, man, one was awesome, and two, not quite so much, and I felt really bad. And then, okay, so then we fast forward a little bit more. Now Ninja Turtles 3 comes along, and Hosang is Raphael again, and they moved the setting to Japan. And Hosang, hey Tone, you should be one of the bad guys in Ninja Turtles 3. And so, I auditioned for that, was going to do stunts for that, and then we fell behind schedule, and they needed another set of turtles to pick up the slack or whatever. Then I got to do work as Leonardo, and I know what I can bring to the table. And it's like, are you kidding me? This movie is going to